Is it sun bright or out on my core? This is the moment you're meant to know.
Now, honestly, guys, I should not be as excited as I am, but I'm here to talk about NewJeans. Finally. Now, I know there is one, two, maybe three people out there that has been requesting a reading on NewJeans for quite a while. But before I get into that, first off, let me say hello to my K-pop fandom out there. I know you guys hardly see me, and I know I'm backed up on my K-pop requests, but we do K-pop readings only on Saturdays and maybe Sunday, but also due to school, that's on my weekends of studying. So I'm sorry. Sometimes I might choose studying over K-pop, even though I love it. There's so much I want to talk about that's like old and like outdated, but hey, there's just so much going on out over there in Korea. I'll just break it down for you guys real quick, just real quick before I get into NewJeans. Hold up. So I know I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Haina. The one that was dating Dawn and then stopped dating Dawn, and then when she stopped dating Dawn and started dating somebody else, that her career completely tanked after that. Yeah, she just recently passed out on stage. So I wanted to mention that. One, I know this was a while ago, but hey, Twice was at the Victoria's Secret 2025 show. It was nice. It was kind of cute. I thought it was a bit distracting though, but that's just my opinion, because how am I supposed to focus on the models when the idols are dancing in front of me? But I digress. It was nice to see the expansion of K-pop. What else also happened in K-pop? Oh yes, I heard that NewJeans has I heard that not NewJeans. I have heard that Kiss of Life has gotten themselves canceled yet again. How? I don't know. I stopped following Kiss of Life. I can't even listen to Igloo without even thinking of their controversy. So that's how much it's turned me off from Kiss of Life. I am sorry, guys. And if you remember, you know how much I was a huge fan of Igloo. So because of that, I've moved on from my Igloo phase and I've moved on to my Riz by X Love. Okay. They killing it. Also, Ellis Frim with... Speaking of which, Hybe, I think you're doing wonders with Ellis Frim, because spaghetti, eat it up, eat it up. Yes, 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 that ate literally. So because of that, NewJeans, I kind of think you might have some competition with Ellis Frim. But you guys didn't hear that from me. I'm not trying to start any company drama. And that was literally unintentionally not trying to start beef there. That was just a slight comment, just looking at how is NewJeans going to be able to fit into a door after being gone for a year. Like, seriously, think about it. How is NewJeans, after everything they've went through, after a year of legal battles, they have to return to a door with their tail between their legs and work for what, the cog, the machine, whatever you want to call a door. So I'm kind of upset about that, but I have questions, because some people feel like NewJeans has won in this situation, which I guess I could see how you guys would think that, because, well, NewJeans would only return if they got their needs met, right? That would only make sense, that they went through this whole battle for a year and there's no way they're going to go back to the same conditions that they just spent a whole year fighting for and against, right? Yeah, that would not make sense. But I'm pretty sure that's exactly what they did, because I think, and I have to give credit, I came up with this idea first out of my head when I was just reading through the notes. But I have to say, if you go to Rolling Stone Philippines, they touch on the exact same sentiment that I'm going to be getting on today in this reading, because I feel like I told you, tail between their legs. I feel like NewJeans was forced against their will to come back to a door. So no, this isn't a win for NewJeans. No, never. Is never going to be no. And I'm quite confused and I'm quite upset because I had so much through my readings. I had so much positive energy for NewJeans. I was just like, yeah, they're going to overcome this and they're going to live this down in history and they're going to be Adore's nightmare. Well, clearly they was never that. Adore shook them off. It was like you was nothing because their Adore's stocks went back up after NewJeans lost. But I digress, right? So I looked this up. So NewJeans has a 7-year contract with Adore. So minus the fact that they spent a whole year with a legal battle, that means they have 6 years total to fulfill in this contract. But they've already completed 3 already before this 1 year break. So they're about to go back for another 3 years of now living literal hell because they've gone up against NewJeans. Adore. And Adore was like, you thought you had, I bet you Adore's going to be like, you really thought you had some bad management now that me and Heejin's not even here. Ooh, we gonna be your worst nightmare, NewJeans. Like, that's how I feel like Adore's going to be. And also, please enlighten me, guys. I didn't realize this because I was so rah team NewJeans that I wasn't even looking at their official Adore ran account Instagram but I was surprised. During this entire legal battle, Adore was still promoting NewJeans. Tell me, how does that one work? NewJeans had a whole another 2-3 different Instagram accounts and TikToks, and you're telling me that you guys were still promoting like what? I'm confused and even more boggled than that. And I've complained about that too before. So I'm just like, why are they over here fulfilling contracts and meetings and posing for all these fashion companies when they're totally completely being managed by themselves and me, Hyunjin, and their parents? So why are they fulfilling these contracts for Adore? I'm like, they're literally working against themselves, but I guess they were. So then my question is, was NewJeans ever really free? Seriously, guys, was NewJeans ever really free? So what I have here on my notes is first, like I said, NewJeans is confirmed to be back with Adore. Second, they had their case back on October 30th, and a fan did, thank you, subscriber. A subscriber did let me know down on October 31st, actually, the next day, that I needed to hop on it and read on, paraphrasing, but I needed to hop on it and read on NewJeans because there was so much going down with them. And yes, I knew there was a lot going down, but it was good I was getting to it now, because I probably would have had such a positive, good reading for them that I probably would have never predicted this, and this would have been like a shocking landslide. I would have been like, what do you mean? So because of that, NewJeans was going to appeal, but allegedly they just decided to not appeal. Why? I don't know. You make that one make sense. And then apparently the court says that Adore has not violated any managerial duties. And so because of that, their NewJeans contract is still valid according to the law, and they still got to work for Adore/Hype. And then Min Hyejin, she supports NewJeans, saying that and you know what? I had to put this out there because it was the way she phrased it. She said that she was in support of NewJeans' decision to return. And I was like, Min Hyejin, what do you mean decision? There was not a decision there to be made. They was literally said and told, go back. Go back. They didn't have a choice. What decision? Yeah, they talked it over with their parents. Okay, sure. They could have appealed, but honestly, would that appeal have gone through? I mean, after all, they have gone through a year now. I'm sure NewJeans wants to get back together and just promote and put this all behind them. But that's how exactly Min Hyejin feels, because she's just like, well, at least NewJeans gets to stay together, and I feel like NewJeans can stay together even though I'm not there and I have to move on and they're stuck. At least they're stuck together and they're going to grow together. Fighting. That was me adding her sentiment. That's basically how she felt, just like cheering and supporting on NewJeans. So I was like, okay, Mihijin, pop off, I guess. So she said she's going to support them till the very end and watch over them. I guess that's all she can really do. Mihijin, you really didn't need to speak out because this is completely out of your hands now. But I totally get it. You're just trying to show the public that you still stand by them, even though they had to go against all their morals and values and hard work that they have put forth. I'm reiterating that. I'm drilling that in. How basically a whole year has been wasted. No progress has been made. None, not even to the legal system. So because of that, yes. And also, even though they have returned, they haven't officially returned because Adore has to validate that their approval to come back to Adore is actually valid. They're just like, are you sure you're not trying to play a one-up on us? So, I don't know. You guys make that one make sense. But here I am. I'm going to pull some cards on NewJeans. Okay, 2 cards. I'll just look at them, and if they pop up again, we'll see if they are going to be used. I was the Son of Swords and the World card. So we're just going to shuff. I mean, I shuffled these cards after, before I had gotten on camera, but I just want to shuffle them just a little bit more. Okay. Okay, the first card that wanted to come out. The Lovers. What could this possibly entail? Beats me. So let's see at the bottom. The Hermit. Oh my. The Father of Swords. The Three of Cups. Oh, I just recently had a reading where the Three of Cups was in somebody's placement. And then the Nine of Pentacles. I kind of like that, guys, actually. I'm not going to lie. So first, where do I jump? We're going to start in the past. So in the past, we have the Father of Swords. And I feel like wholeheartedly this Father of Swords is the judicial system / Adore, the authorities that are over NewJeans. And they finally put the hammer, the gauntlet down there, just like, you know what? The gamut. They hit that gamut. It was like, order in court. NewJeans, you got to go back. That's basically the Father has spoken. The decision has been made. The thought, the ruling is solidified. No going back. And so that's where their past was, and that's pretty much where NewJeans was binded. That's me reading into the details a little bit on that one, but that's the sentiment that they're feeling, that they have this ruling father over them that is kind of suffocating. And I don't want to say intoxicating because it's not water, but intoxicating in the sense of I just stifling our energy and who we are and who we represent and what we're trying to stand for. That's how NewJeans is feeling, that they are being smothered. The air, the life, not the life, because that would be the fire. So the air, the wind, kind of the energy, even though it's not fire, has been taken right out of them and has been put into somebody's hands. It's almost like a conservatorship. That's exactly what this Father of Swords is feeling like. It's giving me conservatorship vibes. And that's how NewJeans is seeing this at this point. But hey, you know what? NewJeans themselves have love. They are showering themselves with support, with being there for each other, loving on each other, saying, hey, it's NewJeans until the end. We said it. We're better together. So that's where NewJeans is coming through. Nothing is going to separate us. That's how NewJeans is feeling, and they're standing on that ground, and they've basically accumulated their own bubble. It's basically NewJeans versus Adore. You know how they say me against the world? Well, it's NewJeans versus Adore. So because of that, NewJeans is like, we got to stand together stronger than we ever have. We got to have more love, trust in each other than we ever needed before, because we're our own little hut. We're our own little hermit. We are our own little life support that we can trust when everything else around us on the outside of us just feels like it's up against us, not going our way, and we feel like we're being taken advantage of, and the trust that we once had is now going to have to be put within ourselves because we know that we're never going to let ourselves down. That's how NewJeans is feeling at this moment. And with this Three of Cups, they're standing in solidarity with themselves, with Min Hee-jin, and with their parents. So those are the three people that are in solidarity with them. It's NewJeans and the two peoples that matter in their life, Mi Hee-jin and their parents. So because of that, Min Hee-jin, Min Hee-jin, those are the two people that are just most significant in NewJeans' life, and NewJeans is supported. They have their own support system within themselves, but they have an outside support system that they can reach onto. But ultimately, they know they can't always reach that outside support system. So they're really going to have to stand strong within inside of themselves and like hurdle and huddle together like they never had before. You know how when they go to like if you think about when people go to extreme protesting, when it's like for a tree, or they don't want like a statue or monument to be taken down, instead of just standing in front of it, sometimes they might just like lock arms. Like, if you want to get through me, you got to get through all of us. Or maybe they go to that real extreme where they'll like tie and chain themselves to the object, saying, well, if you demolish it and break this thing, you got to kill me. Basically, that's how NewJeans is feeling at this moment, is that they got to come together, band together, and just like, if you come for us, if you come for me, you got to come for all of us. So be prepared. Okay, that's how NewJeans is feeling. And then moving forward, here is the Nine of Pentacles, which through all of that, we see the Nine of Pentacles, where they're kind of getting back to their career, but it's not like the full potential that it could be. Maybe this will be the best NewJeans will ever be. But I don't know. Do you think Adore will actually try to fulfill their contracts? I mean, try to fulfill and promote NewJeans after everything NewJeans has done for them? Like, what if NewJeans really pulls like wow, my names are slipping me. A YG. Like, what if he pulls a YG and puts them in the basement? It happens. We know the stories, but this is a well-established company, and well-established companies usually don't let their groups go in the basement like that. So because of that, I don't know. I don't know what kind of treatment NewJeans is going to get from this. But we'll find out from these oracle cards. We're going to see what the surrounding energy is around NewJeans. Is it positive? Like, when they go back to Adore, that's what the outside energy is going to be. When they go back to Adore, are they going to be supportive? Are they actually going to be like taken seriously? Or is NewJeans just going to be the laughing stock of the company? Like, haha, you tried to take the company down, you didn't. So let's see. How's it feeling for NewJeans when they get back to Adore? Okay. Now I will actually pick, weirdly enough, these two cards. We have the Mountain. We have a Constancy. Yes, constancy. I think that was supposed to be consistency. We have Warm and Fire. I'm not gonna lie, guys. That's not what I was expecting. I really wasn't expecting that. And honestly, I'm just gonna have to read it as it is. There's one card here that I can't quite say if it's a yes or a no. So it's 50-50. It's up in the air how NewJeans is ultimately going to be treated, because the first card that came out was no. And that was the first blaring thing that I saw. But the more I looked at it, it said yes. But outside of that, we have a no, a yes, and a yes. But if you want to look at it that way, we see a yes and a yes and a yes. You can look at it either way, but yes is overwhelmingly positive. And I was saying, how is NewJeans going to be received when they come back to a door, right? And the card, not only does the overwhelming amount of yeses come out, but we have warm, which definitely means being well receptive, being received, actually feeling a part and not excluded. But then we have fire. And the first thing that came out to me was the creativity. But fire can also be destructive if you're not careful with it. You can't trust fire. Yeah, you can get you got to be able to be comfortable around fire and know how to control it. And if you can't control it, it's going to control you with fear. So, and then we have a mountain, which is a no, but a yes. How is a mountain a yes? Beats me. But what I see here for a no when I think of a mountain is when it comes to NewJeans is that Adore is the mountain that they can't get over. They did not triumph. They did not make it to the top. If we want to think about it, not to make jokes like that, but they are just like the 1,000 people that went on top of Mount Everest. NewJeans basically died up there. And Mount Everest was Adore. And Adore was just like, yeah, why did you even try? You didn't even stand a chance. Why? What was you thinking? That's exactly how Adore's doing. They're just kind of like that's Adore's attitude. So they're just pretty much just like kind of cold-ish if you want to think about it, and very high up, just like I was talking about with these authorities. And even though the constancy card comes out, we see, I'm just going to read it out to you. It says the quality of being faithful and dependable. So it represents a commitment and loyalty. And what I'm seeing here is maybe Adore is really going to fulfill their contracts with NewJeans and not mistreat them for the next 3 years. Maybe they'll sweep it underneath the rug. Maybe some things has been talked about behind closed doors that has made Adore feel a little bit more receptive to letting NewJeans back in through their doors. But whatever it is, there is definitely seems to be some sort of deal behind the scenes that is going to keep the ball going for NewJeans, which is exactly what we saw here with this Nine of Pentacles. I even said, and that's what prompted me to pull out this card, because I was like, this Nine of Pentacles means that their career is still gonna go. This isn't the end. Like, this isn't the last of NewJeans, and it's like they lost the case and we never see them again, and that was their story. No, there is a story at the end of this. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. And maybe that could be why fans out there are saying that this is a win when it doesn't look like a win. And that could be why Minhyjin is like, and all 5 members too, because they could have chose to appeal, but they chose not to appeal. So maybe something in their favor is going to work out. And like I said beforehand, maybe it's not that NewJeans is going to be the nightmare for Adore, but it was the rude awakening that Adore needed to know that their actions has consequences. And because of that, maybe that for Adore is going to help them move a little bit more forward with NewJeans than they were previously. But I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell how it will go. So with that being said, I think I'm just going to leave it at that, because that was pretty positive and that was pretty open. And I don't want to find any definitive answers, because I see a bunch of yeses with a slight no. Tell me, how would you guys see a mountain as the only way I could see a mountain being positive if it's a block and a restriction put up, so that way you don't get to the other side. And you're just like, well, why would you never want to get to the other side? Because maybe you're just not meant to get there, and what's on the other side is much more for your demise than it is for your good. So something in the way came in as a hindrance and a block from preventing you to go down that way, so you can continue going another way or completely take a different path from that other path. So that's what that mountain could mean. And if that's the case, I could definitely see how maybe this case, like as I was saying, weirdly enough, now that it's come to me, that NewJeans feels as though Adore was a mountain for them. it could, my sentiment could still be true that the thorn in their side was NewJeans, and they probably had to do something, change something. Yeah, just because their contract is valid and they didn't do anything to go against managerial duties doesn't mean they still can't learn from this lesson and this year-long battle, because it wouldn't have been a year-long battle if there wasn't some sort of substance and details that needed to look into it. So that's what I'm saying, because this could have just easily gotten dismissed and kicked out of court, or this easily could have been like maybe a few months, and then you'd be like, kick that out. We don't need that. That's not worth our time. But no, they decided to spend at least a good year on this before coming to this conclusion. So because of that, it was something that hopefully it is going to be something that pushes Adore to be better just a little bit. Just make a little bit more effort. So that way none of this would have all been down the drain. See, I told you, I still have a positive reading no matter what for NewJeans. But the cards, I literally have no negative cards in sight besides the Mountain and probably the King of Swords. But other than that, every other card seems pretty overwhelmingly positive besides the overwhelmingly positive yeses and this consistency card. But this consistency card is kind of giving me a question mark, because while it says it's about being faithful and dependable, consistency is consistency, and you can be consistent in anything, whether it's good or bad. So that makes me wonder, if Adore is going to be continuing their same old shenanigans with NewJeans, and while they may not get better with promoting NewJeans like they wanted to, they're just going to go back to normal. Like they was like, haha, you tried, think again, it's still the same, get back to work. And honestly, I hate to have that cold sentiment, but that's the King of Swords for you. And B, that's just the K-pop industry. They really do not give a squiddly doodle. I was trying to be PG right there. Companies could give squiddly doodles about their idols anyway. So it's a machine. Literally, you're on a factory line, and there's so many other groups and people that can replace you. I know you can't replace talent, and I know you can't replace a good chemistry balanced group that can sustain like NewJeans can. So yes, they are rare in a sense, but we can get another NewJeans out there if Adore wanted to. So because of that, for that sense, you have to wonder, is Adore going to change? So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I tried to look at it from every which angle because it's so much going on with them that I'm just like, it's looking good, but it's most definitely NewJeans is on their own. And because they're on their own, they're going to have a whole lot to stand up against. And I'm just not sure. Listen, if they could withstand a year, I think they can withstand 3 more years with Adore, because if they could handle this court and legal battle and sustaining their own businesses outside of Adore, and they had it was basically relying on their parents to try to self-promote themselves, then yeah, they can handle another 3 years under Adore. Why not? So with that being said, it's NewJeans, for God's sake. They are like the super power group, especially if they still come out with this on top. Think about it. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading and this story and evolution of NewJeans. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. It would really mean a lot to the channel and to the multiple subscribers out there that asked for a reading on NewJeans. I hope this reading was worth the wait and is what you was looking for and expecting, or maybe not expecting. With that being said, let me know all of that down below in the comments. And also, let's get a conversation. How you feeling about NewJeans and their return to Adore? And how do you feel about the whole situation in the last year that we've spent on this roller coaster? And with that being said, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this content. Share this with anybody that's into K-pop. Even though I don't do K-pop that often anymore, but still share this with anybody that's into K-pop. And share this with anybody that is into NewJeans and they want to hear a positive message out there for their favorite group out there. Show that there is some slimmer of hope out there for the group. If that being said, I will see you sunflowers in the next one. Sunflowers! I was thinking about this while I was shuffling the cards and thinking about it. What if, like, the outside cards, because I did technically ask two questions. So, if we want to think about this and analyze this with the outside forces, when I said, how is New Jeans going to be received when they go back into a door? All those cards, like we had the consistency, then we had the, thinking of the cards right here. We had consistency, then we had the mountain, and then we had fire, and then up here we had, I'm forgetting the card, it's blanking on me. But because we had those cards there, they could have been talking about how Adore's going to treat New Jeans when it comes back to them. And then if we want to go back and double on that second question I asked on, will Adore treat New Jeans cold and harshly, and as if this was going to be like, it's going to be like New Jeans' worst nightmare, paraphrasing what I was asking. The corner answers where it was like yes, 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 could be a answer to that question, especially when you double it down with the consistency card, that no, Adora's going to continue on their same old when they come. It was the warm card. Yeah, it's going to be warm. It's the facade. It's the front. Yeah, we're going to let you in. We're going to let you come in. But it's warm. The temperature's hot. We went from warm to fire. So when they get back into the environment of a door, it's going to be sizzling hot, fire red, burning just like this shirt. So because of that, that's what it's going to be like, tension high, thick choking, right? They thought they was choking with that case. They really going to be strangled now. So that's the tension that they're going to feel when they get in there. So no, I don't think that, and now that I'm really thinking about it and looking back at it, no, I really don't think that Adore is going to switch up on New Jeans like that. But when it comes to New Jeans, if we want to think about it that way, they could be welcomed, but overall New Jeans is still going to have the same treatment, and they're going to shine, but not shine bright like a diamond. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this recap and this slight habit that I added to it. Just rewind back my last part to look at those four corners and break that down all over again with this kind of idea and sentiment in your head, and see if you could see it from the flip side of the positive side that I gave the reading to. Okay, now with that being said, because like I said, I was stuck on that mountain, and that consistency card didn't come with a yes or no, but I was also questioning that one. So I was just like, you know what? I'm going to say I got two no's and two yeses, so we're split down the middle still. So now with that being said, sunflowers.